Hello. Today I'm going to be discussing libertarianism and my view on it and what it is. The main reason behind this is I am not a 100% libertarian, but seeing people my age and just post-millennials and even millennials turn to the libertarian leave me alone side, it's interesting, and I'd like to take advantage of that and help people out with it within their journey so that they don't turn out to fall back and go into a bad route and find bad alternatives. Libertarianism is minimum government, maximum freedom. In other words, in libertarianism, it's the belief that you have private property and you should be able to buy what you want and do what you want as long as you don't harm others. It's what the founding fathers, for the most part, wanted and wrote down in our Bill of Rights, our Constitution, Declaration of Independence, and such. The thing is, it's very complicated, but it's not nearly as complicated as it seems. If you want to go into a philosophical deal, then it's more complicated, which I'd be open to do at any time, but this is just a weekly show for a brief update. If anyone ever requests that I do something like that, I would gladly do that, and that would work out. But the thing is, libertarianism, it's based off of capitalism, low regulation, low taxes, and maximum freedom. It's the belief that, say I would never do this because I'm personally against it, and I realize the health reasons. Marijuana. I believe that if you want to smoke marijuana, you should be able to do so. You should be able to buy marijuana. We should legalize it, tax and regulate it, so that way we don't have the problem like we did during Prohibition when whiskey would be put in these generators and you get diseases from it and die. And well, you won't get disease, you just get poisoned and straight up die. But the whole point is, I would never do something like that, but who is the government to enforce what is right and wrong on certain levels? If people are so bad, and people can't make their own decisions, so we're not wise enough to make our own decisions, so we can't purchase marijuana or purchase this or do this. Well, whose place is it really to make those laws? The government is run by people. If people are so bad and can't be trusted, so there has to be lots of regulations, well, who's really going to make all those regulations? Because the government's run by people, so therefore they are bad if you're taking a stance that all people are bad, which is not true. Then Thomas Hobbes, as an argument against Locke, said, if people are so good and all that, why do you lock your doors at night? And then that's where everybody back then in the 1600s was like, oh, and all that. Wrong. Everyone was like that, but for no good reason. You lock your doors at night because there's a possibility, there's a 1 in a million chance that somebody's going to break into your house and steal your things, and there's like a it's even less likely for you to be murdered or something like that. You lock it because there's a slim possibility. Well, Hobbes, if there's a slim possibility, well, when you have a autocratic system and one ruler rules it all and it's just a full aristocracy or something like that, there's well over a slight chance that there could be a dictator, which you have no problem with, but a dictator that ruins all the people's lives, which Hobbes probably has no problem with either. So that's that. And on my old channel, I made a whole hour-and-a-half video on the Leviathan, 2 treatises of government, John Locke, Thomas Hobbes, and I did a whole thing. I'm not sure I'm going to do that again because that took me a while. I would say that libertarianism, in simple terms, it's liberty. You can all go back to like Latin terms and such, but it's very simple. It's the belief that if you're gay, okay, that if I'm a Christian, I believe it's a sin, but if you want to get married and you're gay, what does that does that affect me? Unless you're forcing churches to marry gay couples, which is then violating their private business, their private property and such, then the whole thing goes away. You see, libertarianism is a full thing. It's not many ways to really find bad things within it without using a subjective opinion. I would say that, one second, this has been bothering me. Oh, man. But libertarianism, you have your right to, the government cannot deprive you of your right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and property. So therefore, the government has to have a warrant to get on your property, so therefore you're welcome to do what you want on your property unless it affects the lives of others. So basically, libertarianism is the belief that you should be able to live freely and happily unless you're affecting someone else's ability to do that. It's very simple. I want to thank everyone for watching. The reason this is on a Google Hangouts format is because I was thinking about maybe getting a guest on the show. It wasn't possible for tonight. I never got a response in the DM, even though I DM'd him last week. Then I DM'd a man about 30 minutes ago for a last minute thing. Really, he never responded. I'm gonna get somebody booked sometime soon. Within the next week, I will definitely have somebody on the show. Thank you for watching, and have a nice weekend.